Okay. There's a beautiful song, Jai Radha Madhav, So we'll sing that. Jai हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की गाय गौर प्रेमानंदे। Hare Krishna. Once again, welcome all the devotees for Sunday evening Gita class. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is. Before starting any discussion, let us start with prayers. Please repeat after me. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Harijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhantamsha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Everyone together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. How many of you have your personal copy of Bhagavad Gita? Around 30%. How many of you have a personal mobile phone? Yes. Few students don't have mobile phones. They are special people. In Kali Yuga, somebody not having mobile phone. Anyone who doesn't have any phone, mobile phone, koi nahi hai na. Makes some sense what I'm saying. It's like we have personal mobile phone. Similarly, we should have personal Bhagavad Gita copy. Some people have two mobile phones. At least one Bhagavad Gita we should have. So those who have, you can open your Bhagavad Gita. We are reading from second chapter, text number 64 onwards. Those who do not have can go to www.vedabase.io. VEDABAS, vedabase.io. Click Bhagavad Gita, chapters number 2, text 64. Okay, prior to this, what was discussed in the previous classes? Some recap. Some remembers what was discussed before. Yes. Remember something what was discussed before? Okay, we'll go through a little bit. There are various sections in Bhagavad Gita, 3 sections basically, first 6 chapters, middle 6 chapters, and last 6 chapters. So they are divided in different sections. First 6 chapter, even in the first 6 chapters, if you see, second chapter is the entitled as, what is the name of this chapter? Contents of the Gita summarized. In Hindi, it is called Gita Sar. Contents of the Gita summarized. So here Krishna speaks about Sankhya Yoga, he speaks about Bhakti Yoga, there's knowledge about the spirit soul. Then at the end, Arjuna is asking about what are the symptoms of a person who has got self-realization, self-realized soul. So Krishna is explaining what are the symptoms of self-realized soul. 4 questions were asked. Someone remembers 4 questions? 2.54, I think. 54. 4 questions were asked. Krishna explains that what is meaning of self-realization, and then Arjuna is asking that okay, somebody has realized himself as spirit, soul, servant of Krishna, and what are the symptoms? How can you identify him? So 4 questions were Sita Prajna Sika Bhasha. Bhasha means language. Here signified as okay. Let's see first what is literal meaning. Sita Prajna Sika Bhasha means what is the language. Samadhisasya Keshava Sthitadhi Kim Prabhashita. Prabhasha means how he speaks. Kim Asita Vrajita Kim. Asita means sitting and Vrajita means walking. So Arjuna is asking Krishna that one who is self-realized person, what is his language, how he speaks, how he sits, and how he walks. So there is general meaning, but there is inner meaning. Bhasha means language that signifies what is the general behavior of a person. General behavior. And then samadhisthasya keshava sita kim prabhase. Prabhase means how he responds. How he speaks means how he responds to the situations. When happiness comes, how he responds. When miseries come, how he responds. A normal person, when happiness comes, he will be very elated, and in miseries, he'll be very terribly fearful, trembling. But a Krishna conscious person, how he responds, that is answered in 56, 57. Then Kim Asita means how he sits, meaning how he disengages his senses. And Vrajeta Kim, how he walks, means how he engages his senses. This is little philosophical second chapter. This section is little philosophical. But if you understand this, then our foundation will be very strong in Krishna consciousness. So that was in this. Krishna explains that Dukkeshu anudvignamana sukheshu vigataspriya vitaraga bhaya krodha sitadhir minir uchyate. When happiness comes, a devotee thinks that this is not my credit, it is not because of my hard work. How happiness is coming? What is the reason? Because Krishna's mercy, I am getting this. And when distress comes, yes, and raise your hand if you want to say something. Yes, your name? Shravan Prabhu, yes. Hmm. So problem is also given by Krishna. Okay, he wants to teach something about the problem. Here, what Krishna says in this second chapter, 56 sloka. Someone had hand up here. Yes, your name? Devious Prabhu. Miseries come in life when we are away from Krishna. Very true. So here concept is how the devotee responds to the miseries. How he responds. Two things are mentioned in this shloka. If you go to 56, let's have some exercise. Read 2.56, 2.56. Read the purport and figure out. If you're done, you can raise your hand. 2.56. How the devotee responds to happiness and how he responds to miseries. Okay, some of them are done. Some devotees have their hands up. Let's wait for others. Okay. Yes, some hands are up. You already spoke. Yes, Prabhu. Your name? Nitish Prabhu. बोलिए.
State of mind is constant dealing with these problems and happiness. And if someone is Abhiprapashna conscious, then
We are looking from answer from this shloka, 2.56. That was the exercise. Good efforts. Yes, Prabhu. Your name? Ryan Prabhu. Aryan Prabhu. Hmm. It is only by the blessings of Krishna that I am getting this happiness. And when miseries come, it is because of my past karma. Good. This is 50% of that. Something more is also mentioned. Your name, Prabhu? Pratyash Prabhu.
Krishna is saying that a Krishna consciousness person is never like affected by any situation, whether it is happiness or it's bad things. His mind is always steady in every condition. If troubles come, he thinks that that I should get more trouble because of my past state. And if he is happy, then he credits to Lord Krishna.
Yes. First thing he understands that it is because of my karma, past karma, that I am getting this problem. Second thing is, I was supposed to get 1,000 times more, but it is just reduced to a small token. So Srila Prabhupada once was preaching in West, and one disciple of Srila Prabhupada was cooking, and this devotee got finger cut while cutting vegetables. And approached Prabhupada, Swamiji, I am doing bhakti, I am chanting Hare Krishna. Still, how I got misery, how I got injury. And Prabhupada said that actually your whole hand was supposed to cut. But it is just because you are chanting Hare Krishna and worshipping Krishna. That is why Krishna has reduced that miseries. We had practical experience when we were in Vrindavan in the year 2014. And our bus met an accident. This was first day of our parikrama. And we were going, if you come to Vrindavan, how many of you have been to Vrindavan? Vrindavan, kon gaye? Okay, remaining can come with us in November. 4th November to 11th November we are going. You are invited. So when we had, this was 2014, we met an accident. Bus was going at the speed of almost 80 to 90 kilometers per hour. And just maybe 50 or 100 meters before the bridge starts, there was some problem with temperature. The tire below the driver burst and driver lost the balance and the bus banged into a tree. Tree means it was so ferocious, 80 90 kilometers per hour means the tree came penetrating the bus wall, right side ka wall. The tree came into the fourth seat. And then anybody who saw photos of this bus said how many people died. But it was so interesting that nobody died. What to speak of dying, nobody had even major injuries. Few devotees had a couple of small 2 stitches, 3 stitches on the ear or a little bit something here. Very small miseries, very small injuries. And interestingly, it was talk of the town in Vrindavan that time. Whoever very senior disciples of Srila Prabhupada or some senior Vaishnavas came to give us consolation, they all said same thing. It was 1,000 times more in your karma. But just because you're sitting in the lap of Krishna in Vrindavan, so Krishna has just given a small loving slap and left you. 1,000 times more was supposed to come. 1,000 times karma is burnt. So this is how a devotee thinks. And this was same answer from many devotees, many senior Vaishnavas. Not one or two. So that shows that we are in bhakti, that gives so much benefit that 1,000 times more which was supposed to come gets reduced to a very small amount. And when happiness comes, it is by the mercy of Krishna. Okay, that was 56. This is how a devotee thinks. So anytime in the future problem comes, what we should think? Krishna sent it? No. Our karma. Krishna doesn't want us that we suffer. Krishna doesn't want to put us in the jail. Prabhupada gives another example. Just like government does not want to create jail. But there is a section of people who always want to act unlawfully. They want to be disobedient to the government. So then government is forced to create the jail department. Such kind of people who want to act unlawfully, they are put for the purpose of, what are they put into jail for? Okay, what is the intention behind putting them in jail? Punishment for? And what is the expected outcome? Improve, reformation. So that they'll reform. At least sitting in the jail, one day he'll keep thinking, why this is happening to me? Why this torture? And he will realize that because it was because of this crime, let me reform my criminal mentality. It will improve. Similarly, we are put in this material world in the jail because we have criminal mentality to act unlawfully against the laws of Krishna. And when we realize that why this is happening to me, when we get this question, why these miseries are happening to me, we do not want to die, but we are forced to die. We do not want to become old, but we are forced to become old. Why this is happening to me? And when the question starts coming, then Krishna starts guiding us in the heart. Krishna is sitting in the heart. Paramatmeti chakyukto dehismin purusha para. Krishna is sitting in everyone's heart as Upadrishta Anumanta. He is the Upadrashta, he is the eyewitness of every activity of the Jiva. And Anumanta, he grants, he permits activities. Upadrashta Anumanta cha. So when we get this question, why this problem is happening to me, then Krishna sitting in the heart, he guides us. He comes in the form of a guru, guide, mentor, counselor, spiritual master. And then he guides us. And also Krishna has given this literature, Bhagavad Gita. Then we start moving on the path of bhakti to move towards. So punishments which are given to the jiva in the material world is just an impetus for this inquiry, why this is happening to me, why problems come in the life. So this is how problems should be seen. Then disengages senses, engaging senses, all these things I mentioned. How he disengages his senses, example is given of, someone remembers? How the devotee disengages his senses. Disengaging his senses. There is a separate section. Exam, yes, tortoise. Who said that? Your name, Prabhu? Santosh Prabhu. A turtle, he has a very strong shell above it. Whenever there is use of the senses, it keeps the senses completely out, uses the senses to various activities. As soon as there is danger, it withdraws all the limbs inside. Similarly, a devotee also, whenever there is Krishna conscious atmosphere, he fully uses all the senses. But when there is danger, he withdraws the senses inside. Like just like here, we have temple or the base center, or we go for yatra. There is opportunity. We fully express ourselves, our talent, playing musical instruments, singing, dancing, cooking, talking, giving presentations. We fully engage and freely mix with devotees, talk to them, make friendship, work in team. Now, when we go out, how many of you are working in job? Okay, more than 50% in job. The atmosphere, ambience is very Krishna conscious there? No. So there also you feel like making same friendship with people as you feel in devotees association? No. That means we have this tendency that we are inclined towards Krishna consciousness. Whenever there is unfavorable circumstance, we withdraw our senses. doing the needful with the colleagues in the job or school friends, college friends. Then going forward, then Krishna is saying that even if somebody withdraws the senses artificially, but Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehina rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. Though one disengages his senses from the sense gratification, there is artificial oppression of the senses, but the rasa for sense gratification is there in the heart. The taste for sense gratification is there in the heart. How that is to be curbed? Krishna says in second line, Rasavarjam raso apyasya param drishtva nivartate, means getting the higher taste. When we just like we have prasadam, when you eat prasadam, it's nice, though it is without onion, garlic, but it tastes so nice that we forget about whatever we ate earlier. We don't want to mention that. We forget about all these things. When you have devotees, social devotees take care of us, we forget this selfish colleagues, teammates. We forget these people. So param drishtva, when you sing in kirtan, when you dance in kirtan, after some time we'll go for kirtan on the Juhu beach. So when we dance in the kirtan, we understand this is higher taste. People may have parties where they dance on DJ, they drink and dance, but how long they can dance? Half an hour, 1 hour? Not more than that. But devotees can go on dancing for so many hours together. I remember there is a book called Srila Prabhupada Leelamrit. We all should read that book, very inspirational. That talks about the initial days of Srila Prabhupada when Prabhupada was preaching in the year 19 late 60s, early 70s. That mentions that devotees would go out every day for Harinam Sankirtan, straight Sankirtan. And they would do for 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours sometime every day and still not get tired. So Krishna consciousness is very natural, it has higher taste. Then going forward, यततो हि अपि कौन्तेय पुरुषस्य विपश्यतः इंद्रियाणि प्रमाथिनि हरन्ति प्रसभं मनः. Though one may be engaged, but indriyani pramathini, the senses are so impetuous and strong that it forcibly carries away person of the mind, carries away mind of a person, even though he has discrimination, and with full endeavor he is trying to control them. Senses are very strong. They are compared to the poisonous snake. Poisonous snake, the snake charmer may be very expert to train that snake, but the snake is so powerful that sometimes it bites the snake charmer. Similarly, our mind is also like that. We may try to engage in the service of Krishna, but at times it cheats us. The senses are so strong, mind is so strong that it can never be trusted. The mind and senses, they are so impetuous that if there's little bit of inattention, then immediately there is accident. Like if we travel on the road, then there is something written behind the trucks, What is that? Oh, that's a common thing. Nazar hati, durghutna ghati. So this is what happens with Krishna conscious devotee. We are fully alert, walking on the path, bhakti, okay, chanting 16 rounds, whatever number of rounds we are chanting every day. And then 4 regulative principles, we are alert. But as soon as there is inattention, there is accident. Just like when we travel on the railway station, we keep our bag, and then there is little inattention. What happens to the bag? It's taken away. So we cannot be inattentive anytime. We have to be fully alert on this path. And what is the solution of that? Tani sarvani samyamya yukta asita matprah vashahi yasendriyani tasya prajna pratishtha. Tani sarvani samyamya yukta asita matprah. Yukta means engaging. Senses को engage करना है भगवान की भक्ति में, भगवान की सेवा में. Because it is our nature to be active all the time. हम बिना किसी activities को किए नहीं रह सकते. It is not possible for us. So we have to do some activity. The senses demand some activity. I remember when I was a child, I was brought up in a village. So I would see oftentimes many mothers would try to do so many household activities, but the children are so naughty, they will not allow them to do anything. So sometimes I saw some mothers tying their children with the cot or with the pole, with the gate, with the rope. They'll use rassi say and tie the child, so that child is not notorious, doesn't create noise, nonsense, disturbance. So why this example? Because same thing here. The child wants to do some activity. It Even if it is tired, sometimes still he keeps crying. So then mother gives some toy for playing. Okay, you do this activity. Then the child is peaceful. Just like the child needs some engagement, some activity, similarly our mind also needs some engagement. The senses also need some engagement. And they have to be practically engaged. Whatever skills or talent or conditioning, whatever you say, we have to do that for Krishna. Earlier we were doing for sense gratification or for name, fame, for money, but now we do it for Krishna. We have some devotees. Shubham Prabhu, he knows photography, right? He's a professionally photographer. So he uses his skills for covering various events, various yatras we have. We have one more devotee, who is Girish Prabhu, he is not here. Girish Prabhu, he is professional singer, musician. So he sings nice kirtan. So many devotees like this. Anyone here who knows music, singing, playing musical instruments? What's your name, Prabhu? Aj. Amsh. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, in the 10th chapter, Ekam Shina Sthito Jagat. Amsh. So whatever yad vibhuti mat satam Srimad Urjitam eva tat tat eva vagachatam Mama Tejo Amsha Sambhavam. Means whatever opulences are there in the world, Krishna says that is part of my fraction of my opulence. Amsh, yeah, says same thing. In Sanskrit it's called Amsh. Amsh actually. So it's that the talent is coming from Krishna. So engage that in service of Krishna. Anyone knows cooking here? Except Maggie and noodles. Everyone knows that. Yes, you can connect to Abhishek Prabhu. Some devotees know cooking. You can some devotees here know cooking. You can engage them base cooking. Here Amsh Prabhu, he knows some music. Anyone knows public speaking? Your name, Prabhu? Ved. So Ved knows, he can speak Veda and teach people. So yeah, so many any activities can be engaged in the service of Krishna. Krishna consciousness is not oppressing our nature and talent. It is to engage that in the service of Krishna. So that is said in 61. Tani samyani sarvani samyamyam yukta asita matparah vasehi yasyendriyani tasya prajna pratishtita. And then very powerful shloka, very important shlokas came 2.62 and 63. Dhyayato vishayan pamsa. Now this is about the same thing, how to control the senses, how to engage the senses. That is mentioned, dhyayato vishayan pamsa sangasteshu vijayate sangat sanjayate kama kamat krodho vijayate. While contemplating the objects of the senses, a person develops attachment for them, and from such attachment, lust develops, and from lust, anger arises. This is the principle, I think last session must have been discussed in depth. This is the principle even all the advertisement industries are also using. That's why when we drive, we see so many boards. You say Airtel, 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 Airtel. After every 50 meters or after every 20 meters, you see a board, Airtel. Now, एक बार देख लिया, why so many boards? Repeatedly. So that then when we go for buying SIM card, immediately we choose Airtel. It's bombarded. So same principle from Bhagavad Gita. Dhyayato vishayan pumsa. We think about it. We contemplate over it. Dhyayato vishayan pumsa. While contemplating on the sense objects, we develop attachment. Dhyayato vishayan pumsa sangasteshu upjayate. Sangha means attachment. We strongly wanted that. Sangat sanjayate kamaha. And that when that attachment is intensified, then it turns into calm. Lust means a strong desire to get something. It's called lust. Strong desire to get something. So all these industries are using principles from Bhagavad Gita. Actually, you see anywhere or any strategy which is coming, be it a leadership strategy, skills, or advertisement, marketing, mind control, is all coming from Bhagavad Gita. There is no other source of content. Then kamat krodho vijayate. When that lust is not satisfied, then it turns into anger. If it is satisfied, that turns into greed. We want more. Not satisfied, we become angry. Krodho vijayate. Krodhat bhavati sammoha 63. Krodhat bhavati sammoha. Sammohat smriti vibramah. Smriti bramshat buddhinashat punashati. From anger arises Krodhat bhavati sammoha. Sammoha means close. Illusion. Samohat Smriti Vibrama. Smriti means memory. Vibrama. Memory is lost. What is good, what is bad, what can be consequence of this activity? सब भूल जाता है. And then बुद्धिनाशात बुद्धिनाश उसके कारण बुद्धि खत्म हो जाती है. बुद्धिनाशात प्रणश्यति. And then when buddhi is finished, then a person bloops, falls in the material pool. Okay, this is a little philosophical section. I understand, maybe a little boring, but no, interesting. How is this interesting? Honestly speaking, just don't just say because I'm asking this and people are watching you. I felt boring when I studied first time. Takes little efforts, but important. These two shlokas you should cram this. Memorize this shloka 2.62, 63. Very important shloka. Okay, now we come to 64. So till now Krishna is saying how to engage senses, how to disengage and how to engage senses now. Okay, 64. Please repeat after me. Ragadvesha vimuktaistu विषयानिन्द्रियैश्चरन् आत्मवश्यैर्विधेयात्मा प्रसादम् अधिगच्छति. So here it's mentioned, please read translation. Someone read the translation.
But a person free from all attachment and aversion and able to control his senses through regulative principle of freedom can obtain the complete mercy of the Lord.
Thank you, Bo. So how many of us felt in the life we want to walk on a particular path with determination? We know this is right, this is wrong, and we want to walk on the right path. But there is something in the heart which forces us to act unlawfully. Have you experienced? Something forces us to act wrongly, unlawfully. You experienced this? How many have experienced? Raise your hand. Almost all of us. Thank you for honesty. So, why that happens? Because of these material proclivities in the heart. So, how to rightly act, that Krishna is explaining. Raga dvesha vimuktestu. Raga means attachment. Raga dvesha, hatred. Yeah, you can say it. Here Prabhupada says detachment. The raga dvesha vimuktestu means we have to become free from that. Raga dvesha vimuktestu दोनों से मुक्त होना है. राग द्वेष विमुक्तेस्तु. विषयान इंद्रिय शरण. Vishayan Indriya means the Vishaya means the sense objects. The five sense knowledge acquiring senses: eyes, nose, ears, tongue, and skin. And corresponding to the five sense of senses, there are sense objects. Sense object for eyes is vision. Sense object for ears is the sound. Sense object for nose is the smell or fragrance. Sense object for tongue is taste, and similarly for skin it is touch. So Krishna says here, Vishayan Indriya Sharan. Do not allow senses to wander on the sense objects. Vishayan Indriya Sharan. Atma Vashyer Vidheyatma. And self-control, Atma Vashyer. That means following regulative principles. Prasadam Adhigachat. So we all know this is right, this is wrong. We want to act on the right path. But something like, we know that we want to get up early in the morning, Sunday morning, Mangalarti jayenge subah. Someone has attended Mangalarti, who has attended Mangalarti here? ISKCON Chuho. Some of you attended. Divine experience. If you are not attended, you should attend Mangalarti morning. So you plan that, okay, we will go for Mangalarti, but then you don't get up. Similarly, cheating in the exam. Some of you do. Good boy. Rare to find in Mumbai. So yeah, ideally not good to do, but then many do that. So you know what is right, what is wrong, something not should not be done, but then forced to act wrongly. How to get the determination? People say you should be determined. So many seminars you'll hear, so many videos. Be determined, have confidence. पता है कॉन्फिडेंस होना चाहिए, पता है डिटरमिनेशन, पर कैसे आएगा वो तो बताओ, वो किसी को नहीं पता है, वो भगवद गीता में. So how to get that confidence and conviction and determination that Krishna says here? Three things. If you want to note down, Krishna says, Raga Dvesh Vimuktestu, that means be free from attachment and detachment. Don't be attached to something, don't be detached to something. It's something like, some people say that, okay, I like gulab jamun. Nothing wrong in eating gulab jamun. But then we don't become so much attached to gulab jamun that gulab jamun nahi milega to I'll not go for Sunday class. So that's called attachment. Detachment means no, I don't want gulab jamun. Means it's too much of the other extreme of attachment. I don't want to eat gulab jamun. I don't want to eat gulab jamun. But by saying all these times, I don't want to eat gulab jamun, I'm all the time thinking about gulab jamun. So that's called other extreme. So one should be free from either of them. Here Krishna specifically mentioned about the senses and sense objects. The advertisement industry bombards us with so much of nonsense, negative inputs. Mobile phones is filled up with so much of negative input. Movies and web series, Netflix series, all these things. What do you feel? This is filled with Krishna consciousness? Do you see any Bhagavad Gita shloka being quoted there? Never. Even if they quote something about scriptures, they'll negatively portray it. Yes, wrongly interpreted. So never allow the mind to think about these things. Never allow the senses to wander upon these sense objects. So raga dvesha muktestu, attachment detachment is alag. Vishayan indriya, that means keeping away from the contemplation of the sense objects. Atmavashya and self-control, following regulatory principles. Four regulatory principles. What are the four regulatory principles? No eating, no gambling, no illicit sex, no intoxication. Prabhupada preached very simple. Prabhupada preached just chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra and follow four regulatory principles. If one can do this sincerely, seriously, guaranteed he can have so much of advancement. Now one may feel that Prabhuji, I'm doing this since last few weeks or few months or few years, but I'm not feeling progressing in Krishna consciousness. That means there is some loophole. There is some leakage somewhere, guaranteed. Else if somebody chants 16 rounds and follows four principles, it is guaranteed, without a doubt he will go ahead. The heart will be cleansed. Because Shravanam and Kirtan has so much power that when somebody does Shravanam and Kirtan, hearing about Krishna, chanting about Krishna, speaking about Krishna, without a doubt, the heart will be cleansed. That's not happening, this means some loophole. It is very powerful. So, three things: be away from attachment, detachment, control the senses from going to the sense objects, and following regulative principles. The result of that is prasadam adhigachati. One gets the prasadam. Prasadam means mercy of the Lord. Yeah, that is also prasadam. But here, prasadam means the mercy of the Lord. Mercy of the Lord can be in many forms. The flower which comes from the Lord, Bhagavan ko offer kiya or food, that is also mercy. That is also prasad. The cloth which is offered to the Lord, part of that is also mercy. That is also prasad. Food which is offered to the Lord, that is also prasad. So prasadam adhigachati. One does these three things, then he gets mercy. And what is that mercy? Let's read the purport. Please read someone loudly. 64 ka purport.
It is already explained that one may externally control the senses by some artificial process, but unless the senses are engaged in a transcendental service of the Lord, there is every chance of a fall. Although the person in full Krishna consciousness may apparently be on the sensual plane because of his being Krishna conscious, he has no attachment to sensual activities. The Krishna conscious person is concerned only with the satisfaction of Krishna and nothing else. Therefore, he is transcendental to all attachment and detachment. If Krishna wants, the devotee can do anything which is ordinarily undesirable. And if Krishna does not want, he shall not do that which he would have ordinarily done for his own satisfaction. Therefore, to act or not to act is within his control because he acts only under the direction of Krishna. This consciousness is the causeless mercy of the Lord, which the devotee can achieve in spite of his being attached to the sensual platform.
The last line. Repeat the last line, please. Therefore, to act.
Therefore, to act or not to act is within his control because he acts only under the direction of Krishna. The consciousness is the causeless mercy of the Lord, which the devotee can achieve in spite of his being attached to the sensual platform.
So important. Therefore, what is this mercy? Mercy obtained from Krishna is devotee can control his senses and he can use the senses when it is needed. When it is not needed, he can withdraw the senses from its activity. Just like this, some of your friends may say that, see, you people are very restrained in your activity. You don't do so many things. You control yourself. But then the thing is, by refraining our senses from engaging in sense gratification, we get the freedom. That is why these four regulative principles are called four regulative principles of freedom. We are free to act or not act. Like people say that smoking, you don't smoke. Well, when we follow these four regulative principles, we have the determination. We can choose we want to smoke or not. If we want, we can smoke. If we want, we can smoke, and we can say no to smoking also. But they don't have any option. They cannot say no smoking. They are conditioned. They are forced. So who is really free? A devotee is really free. So to act in that way or not to act, that is in the hands of the devotee. Because Krishna is personally controlling in senses. That's why Krishna's one of the names is Rishikesh. Rishikesh means one who controls the senses. Rishika is the senses. And one who controls the senses is called Rishikesh. Arjuna did not want to fight in the beginning. Because Arjuna was saying so many reasons, 5 reasons he does not want to fight. Because of compassion, because of the sin, because of the attachment, confusion, indecision, destruction of the families. So because of all these things, Arjuna did not want to fight. But then Krishna said, Krishna answered these 5 things with 5 logics. That how if you fight, then that will be beneficial for you and for others also. So Arjuna immediately changed his decision. So devotee fights for Krishna, for Krishna's desire. See, sometimes some people say that हम चल के शिरडी जाएंगे. They'll go walking to Shirdi. And while walking, what is happening? They'll hear earphones. Some songs are going on. Well, if it is good if it is religious song going on, but many times it is not so. So externally it is happening, but internal thing that to control the senses or not, to use the senses or not, that is not in his hand. But when a devotee gets the mercy from Krishna, he can choose in unfavorable situation whether to act in that way or not. And life is filled with, especially Mumbai life is filled with such situations. When we are out, there will be every moment there will be provocation in the mind. People will get angry at us. We travel in the local train, so we experience just for a small seat, people start fighting. No reason. Anger, they're very short tempered and ready to fight anytime without any reason. So lust, anger, greed, pride, envy, illusion, all of them, they immediately manifest their effect. But in that situation, whether we want to respond or react, that is up to us. There's a great devotee, Amrish Maharaj. Heard of Amrish Maharaj?
Yes.
How many of you heard Amrish Maharaj? Okay. So great devotee Amrish Maharaj, he was a king of the entire planet. And once Durvasa Muni, he was also a great sage. He was a sannyasi, Mayavadi sannyasi, Brahmavadi sannyasi. One day, Amrish Maharaj was fasting for Ekadashi. Heard of Ekadashi? Very powerful. Ekadashi, if you fast on Ekadashi, Ekadashi is called Madhavatithi Bhakati Janani, means she is mother of devotion. Our devotion, bhakti can very quickly progress if you do Ekadashi. So Amrish Maharaj had fasted for Ekadashi, and next day, Dwadashi, you have in particular time duration you have to break your fast, take the grains. So Amrish Maharaj is about to break the fast, and comes there Durvasa Muni with his 10,000 disciples. Durvasa Muni says that yeah, Amrish Maharaj welcomed him and his disciples. Then he starts preparing all the arrangements, and it is Vedic custom that the guest should be fed first before eating himself. So Amrish Maharaj said that fine, we'll make all the arrangements. And Durvasa Muni says that just give us some time, we will go to the river, take bath and come back. Amrish Maharaj says fine. So Durvasa Muni goes to the river, and then he takes bath, and while in the water he starts chanting some mantras, and he goes to trance, and he forgets that Amrish Maharaj is waiting for me. Now on this other side, Amrish Maharaj was waiting because his time for breaking the fast was passing by. Before a particular time, he has to take the grain and break the fast. So he was concerned. On one side, if he eats or drinks anything, it is insult for the guest. If he does not, then Ekadashi is not, Parana is not done, is not followed properly. So he was in dilemma what to do. So he consulted some of his ministers, what should we do? And the ministers said that they could not say actually anything. The ministers could not say anything, could not conclude. So Amrish Maharaj, being the devotee of Krishna, he got Krishna gave him idea that take water, because taking water is eating also and not eating also, breaking fast also, and at the same time not breaking fast. So Amrish Maharaj took some water so that his law, the rule of Ekadashi is properly followed, and at the same time it is not breaking fast, so that the respect, the honor for the guest also is kept properly. But Durvasa Muni in his meditation, he got to know that Amrish Maharaj has taken some water. So he became very angry. And he opened his tuft of hair, jata, and he created one demon and targeted this demon towards Amrish Maharaj. The demon went, and as soon as this happened, you know what was the immediate outcome? Krishna immediately released his Sudarshan. Sudarshan came and he was protecting Amrish Maharaj. Sudarshan killed this demon first, Brahma Rakshas, and then started moving forward towards Durvasa Muni. And Durvasa Muni, he was trying his best to release himself. Actually, he was feeling so much of burning sensation because of Sudarshan Chakra. If you know Sudarshan Chakra, it is said to have the heat and energy of millions of suns. If you say now, in summer seasons, the temperature was touching 40 plus, it was intolerable, very tough. Now, this is one sun thousands of kilometers away. Just imagine millions of suns put together. So it was intolerable heat for Durvasa Muni. And Durvasa Muni was running away and he had the power to go to any planetary system. So he went to upper planetary system, lower planetary system. He went to Brahmaji and asked Brahmaji, please save me, please spare me. Brahmaji said, sorry, we cannot do anything because Sudarshan is raised by Vishnu. So you go to Vishnu, beyond my range. And then Durvasa Muni goes to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva also says, sorry, we also cannot do anything because it's beyond range. The Sudarshan belongs to Lord Krishna. So you go and beg forgiveness from him. So like this, Durvasa Muni went to all the planetary systems, so entire creation. And then went to Lord Vishnu. No human being can go there. No perfected beings or demigods can also approach there. Brahmaji cannot approach Krishna directly face to face. But Durvasa Muni had that power, yogic siddhi. He personally went and met Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu, when he saw that Durvasa Muni has come, Lord Vishnu said that sorry, Sudarshan is not in my control also. He said that I have given the standing order to Sudarshan. Whenever my devotee is in trouble, don't take my permission, don't ask for permission. Immediately go and save the devotees. So Sudarshan, only person who can save you is Amrish Maharaj, because Sudarshan is released for Amrish Maharaj. Then Durvasa Muni again goes back to Amrish Maharaj. And then he falls at the feet of Amrish Maharaj. And then says, please forgive me. And Amrish Maharaj is so innocent, so simple, because he's a devotee of Krishna, so tolerant. He says that I never took it as an offense. I never took it as an offense. And then, of course, on his desire, Amrish Maharaj's desire, Sudarshan was sent back. So Prabhupada gives comparison here that just see, when somebody is a devotee of Krishna, he may not be a sannyasi. Amrish Maharaj is the grihastha. He was a king. Now, what is meaning of a king? आज की बात नहीं कर रहे हैं. Today, Prime Minister may be, he may be honored with what is that, Air Force One plane, and then some security guards, Z plus security. That's nothing in front of that time kings. Amrish Maharaj, the king of the entire planet. Chakravarti Raja means the entire planet was being ruled by one person. All the opulences around, all the money, all the kings would come and salute him. Today, if Mr. Modi is honored by some other presidents or prime minister of some other nation, then it is news in the news. At that time, it was a common thing. It is understood that Amrish Maharaj is respected by all the kings. So much of honor, so much of power, so much opulence, so much of whatever you can mention. Yad vibhuti mat sattvam, Krishna says. Everything was there. But amidst that, controlling the senses and chanting Hare Krishna. Now just imagine if you are sent to what is the best hotel in Mumbai? Taj Hotel. If you are put there with all the best facilities, rock music is going on, so much money is given, and best of the food is kept in front of you, and somebody says, Prabhu, आज का माला बाकी है. ऐसे छोड़ो ये सब. माला साइड में रखो, कल कर लेंगे. But no, Amrish Maharaj was amidst all these things, all the opulences, facilities, grandeur, and still he was focused on Krishna. That is what he said. That Manai Savai Mana Krishna Padarvindyo Vacham Vaikuntha Gunan Varnani. Amrish Maharaj engaged his mind in remembering Krishna. Manah Savai Manah Krishna Padarvindyo. He engaged his mind in meditating on the lotus feet of Krishna. Vacham Vaikuntha Gunan Varnani. He used his tongue in describing the glories of Krishna. Similarly, he used his feet for walking to Holy Dham, pilgrimages. Next month we are going to Mayapur. You all are welcome. From 9th of July to 15th July. It is said that in Mayapur, every step you walk is equivalent to having thousands of Ashwamedha Yajnas. Ashwamedha Yajna matlab bahut. Now today when we do marriage ceremony, there is Yajna Kund and then there is Swaha, Swaha. This is all ekdam nakli hai. Nakli means, I mean, the Brahmana knows what mantra he is chanting. And the ingredients which are used, whether it is original or Chinese, पता नहीं है. Ghee which is used, original ghee है, गाय का दूध का ghee पता नहीं. Once we went to this place called Umargaon, पास में ही मुंबई के पास. There was a ghee factory, and I asked the person that how much is your production, monthly production, daily production? It says हम इतना घी बनाते हैं. Then I asked that honestly speaking, how do you get so much of milk? I said दूध की जरूरत कहाँ है? Then he told me honestly, महाराज आपको बताऊं तो ये सब केमिकल से होता है. There is no milk needed. So then just imagine that Yajna Vedi, what is happening in the marriage ceremony. Swaha, how much it is ghee or some chemical, we don't know. But that time, okay, how we went there? Ashwamedha Yajna. Doing any yajna takes so much of money, so much of ghee. Not possible for an ordinary person. May not be possible for Ambani or Adani also. Because it requires pure ghee. Kahan milega aajkal? Not possible. But the good news is, if we walk every step in Vrindavan or Mayapur, it is equivalent to doing thousands of Ashwamedha Yajnas. And it is said that even if you sleep in Vrindavan or Mayapur, it is equivalent to doing Dandvat Pranam, prostrated obeisances to the Lord. Every dust particle of Vrindavan and Mayapur is capable of delivering the entire world of the sinful reactions. Every particle of dust. Every tree in Vrindavan and Mayapur is Kalpataru. Kalpataru means it can fulfill all the desires. You just go and desire anything and it's wish-fulfilling tree. Wish-fulfilling tree. So it's very powerful. And this Mayapur is a place located on the banks of Ganga river. Ganga. Just taking bath in the river. What to speak of taking bath in Ganga? The water which is coming, touching the waters of Ganges, the air, touching the waters of Ganges and touching us, just by touching us, it purifies us of the sinful activities. That is Mayapur and Vrindavan. Now, hearing such glories of Vrindavan and Mayapur, who would not like to come to Vrindavan and Mayapur? Such unique opportunities. There's a Gurukul. Today morning we were hearing from Nitai Madhaprabhu. Beautiful Gurukul. There's Nitai Madhav was mentioning, right, today morning. We have 60 students there in Gurukul from 24 different countries. 24 different countries. If you hear their schedule, they sleep at around 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, and then rise at 2:30. And 3 o'clock, the younger boys get up at 3 o'clock, and the elder boys get up at 2:30. And then they have the everyday morning schedule. They chant their rounds, worship the deities, cleaning the entire premises of Gurukul, cooking. So it's very pure life. That Gurukul, you can get to see that Gurukul. International community of devotees. As you see, you'll see Russian devotees, you'll see American devotees, you'll see African devotees, you'll see Chinese devotees, you'll see Afghan devotees, devotees from different parts of the world, different colors, different languages. But everybody has Krishna in their life center, and there's no differentiation. And the world's biggest temple is coming up there, Temple of Vedic Planetarium, world's biggest temple. It will be a big tight slap on the scientist's face who says that God does not exist. You have so many questions, unanswered questions, right? In science, if you see cosmology, understand the study of the planets, their rotation, movement. There are so many unanswered questions. But this TOVP, Temple of Vedic Planetarium, will be a big slap on the face of scientists who say that God doesn't exist. Now, I mean, a small pinch is already given because they have removed Darwin's theory from the syllabus. They realized that Prabhupada used to say so strongly. Scientists would come and they say that it was evolution. That means there were monkeys, and from monkeys evolved the humans. So Prabhupada would say that probably Darwin's father and grandfather must have been monkey, but our father is Krishna. Prabhupada very, very proudly Prabhupada would say. So, yeah, we came there from the point that every step walk in Vrindavan and Mayapur is equivalent to performing thousands of Ashwamedha yajnas. So, using feet in the process of, in the activity of walking towards Dham, walking in the Dham, using eyes for watching Netflix, taking darshan of Krishna. You go to Radha Ras Bihari ji. What we do is generally do pranam, go to the next altar, Radha Ras Bihari. Wahan pranam kiya, aage chalo, seedha andar par. No, go closer to the altar. Look at the deities. Look at the details. अगर नहीं दिख रहा है आपको नंबर है तो go to the YouTube or go to the website. Zoom in. And when I had the fortune of going inside the altar and doing sometimes some seva there. So it's on the micro details, the turban piece they have, the kind of clothing they have on the turban, the garlands, the flowers combination, the jewelry. It is so beautiful, enchanting. And some places they make also the paintings on the face of the Lord, above the eyebrows. So enchanting. That's why Krishna is called Kandarpa Kotikamaniyam Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Crores of cupids are also attracted by Krishna. Crores of cupids, Kamadev. So using eyes in the activity of looking at the lotus face of Krishna, using the touching sensation in touching the bodies of the devotees. Likewise, we can use all the senses in Krishna's service. So that was the point here of whether to act or not, that is in our control. Krishna gives us that strength. So Amrish Maharaj was a devotee. He was not a sannyasi, he was a grihastha. He was a king surrounded by all these opulences, but still he could control himself amidst all these opulences. That's why, demigods, they pray in their planets that, my dear Lord, please give us birth on the earthly planet in the Bharatvarsh, because this is the planet where bhakti is possible. Bharat Bhumite Hailo Manushya Janmayar, Janma Sarthak Kari Para Upkar. Every boy, every child born in this land of Bharatvarsha, from the childhood, he is benedicted with this facility of remembering Krishna, being able to see Krishna, being able to visit temples. We find the same everywhere in any other country. Yeah, by Prabhupada's grace, now there is some opportunity. But earlier, people would die without hearing Krishna's name even once. But in India, you see, we were going to Tirupati and we would observe so many places. Any shop's name will be of Krishna. I'll say Tirupati Traders, Lakshmi Narasimha Wine Shop. Huh? Krishna Sweets. You see, any name, any shop's name will be Krishna. I mean, one cannot, वो भाग नहीं सकता. भगवान के नाम से दूर भाग नहीं सकता. That is a benediction in being in India. He cannot run away. Everywhere you see Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. So we were saying that In India, that is possible. So Amrish Maharaj, being in the so much of opulence of the kingly riches and power, still he was grounded to serving Krishna. He was not sannyasi. On the other hand, Durvasa Muni was sannyasi, but because he was not connected to Krishna, so he became very angry immediately. Little bit of insult and he became angry. So connection to Krishna is important. Krishna. So to act or not, that is in the control of the devotee. We should not be attached. We should not be detached. We should be steady in all situations. I heard a nice answer in this connection. I heard that devotees are not attached, they are not detached, they are detached or they are non-attached. मतलब आएगा कुछ फैसिलिटी आएगी भगवान की सेवा में इस्तेमाल करेंगे और फैसिलिटी नहीं आएगी तो बिना फैसिलिटी के भगवान की सेवा करेंगे प्रचार करेंगे the devotee is not dependent on that or is not affected by presence or absence of anything, just he is concerned about Krishna. And Prabhupada is preaching here. In the beginning days, there was no facility. Prabhupada was walking and preaching everywhere. He would go to tea stalls, preach people, magazines, Back to Godhead magazines. Prabhupada would go to different people and preach. And later on, Krishna arranged that he was arranged with Rolls Royce cars. Many American disciples, European disciples, Prabhupada engaged them also in the service of Krishna. But whether these things are there or not, it did not matter. That did not change Prabhupada's determination and enthusiasm for serving Krishna. Irrespective of that, Prabhupada was fully engaged in the service of Krishna. So the point is, yes, we get that prasad. What is that prasad? Mercy of the Lord. What is that mercy? We have just read one line here. What is that mercy? Yes. Causeless mercy. What is that causeless mercy? क्या होगा वो प्रसाद मिलेगा तो? This is called systematic study. Systematic. Last line. बोलो. Same shloka 2.64. Loudly, loudly. Very good. He can. Even if he's on the attached platform, still what happens? What's there in the purport? Yes. What is that causeless mercy? Yes. Krishna will control him, his senses rather. Whether to act or not act, he can control that. You see, artificially, so many people may control their senses. But then, when the real situation comes, as they say that personality is something which people do in presence of thousands of audience, but character is something what this person does when he's alone. When the opportunity of sense gratification is there, but still he acts in that way. That's called character. Just like character of Arjuna. He had all the opulences. Actually, when he went to what was this place? When he went to heaven, he was proposed by Urvashi. Urvashi is the heavenly damsel. But Arjuna said that no, many generations back, we are familiarly connected, and in that far relation, you are like my mother. So that's how Arjuna treated Urvashi, which is sought after by all the demigods. this character. A nice story comes to mind about Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Heard of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj? Yes. So Shivaji Maharaj, he was a devout devotee of Krishna. Pakka ekdam. He was, in fact, Prabhupada says that he was the last Rajarshi. Rajarshi means the saintly king. Prabhupada says he was last Rajarshi. The man of character, man of chivalry, who could single-handedly throw back all the Mughal empires and protect major part of India from Mughal attack. So Shivaji Maharaj once attacked, forget the name of fort, a particular fort, I forget the name. Anyway, so Shivaji Maharaj did not go personally. His commander in chief, an army went and attacked a particular fort, and then badly defeated the Mughal army and Mughal ruler. And they now the fighters, when they would defeat the opponent, they would bring some booties. That's called booty. That the jewelry, the important thing, the rifles, they will bring back. So like this, they were picking up different things for gifting to Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. So they brought different things, and they also got the wife of the Mughal king. His name was Bilal Khan or something, and she was known for her beauty. So the ministers thought that okay, we'll bring this lady and offer to Shivaji Maharaj. He'll be very happy. So they got this lady in the palanquin, and then Shivaji Maharaj was presented with this so many things, and this lady also who was known for her beauty. And Shivaji Maharaj looked at her, and Maharaj says that this this lady is endowed with special beauty from Krishna. And then he says that what a creation! Krishna is so intelligent to create so many beauties. And then he says that if my mother would have been so beautiful like you, then I would have been more handsome. Treating this lady as his mother with all the respect, with all the guards. Shivaji Maharaj sent this lady back to the husband. This character. And people of such character had real strength and chivalry, righteous kings. So to act or not to act, rightly or wrongly, that is in the hands of devotee. There is a mercy. Now just imagine in your personal life, private life, you have come across or you will come across in situations where character will be tested, the righteousness will be tested. So that is that mercy. If you want to act lawfully and be determined on it, there are two things. One is discrimination and another is determination. Discrimination means knowing what is right and what is wrong. Discriminate. That comes from Shastras. And determination means pata hai ki this is right, to stick to the right. Stick to the right. That's called determination. The determination comes by chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra and by association of devotees. And okay, that mercy is obtained, that prasad is obtained. The effect of that is in the next shloka. Prasade sarva dukkhanam hanirasyopajayate prasanna chetaso hyashu buddhihi paryavatishtate. Please read.
Satisfied Krishna consciousness, the threefold meaning of material existence is no longer. In such satisfied consciousness, one's intelligence is soon well established.
Prasade sarva dukkhanam hanir. Sarva dukkhanam, all the miseries are hanir, khatam. Material miseries are finished. Prasade sarva dukkhanam hani. Asya upajayate prasanna cheto hi ashu buddhi paryavatishtate. As material existence no longer, miseries of material existence exist no longer. In such satisfied consciousness, one's intelligence is soon well established. Is so satisfied. Is very satisfied. He becomes happy. Devotee becomes happy naturally. If you want happiness, get prasadam. Prasadam means mercy of the Lord. That mercy comes by three things. What are the three things we mentioned? 64 from Shloka. Yes. See? Being free from attachment and detachment. Following regulative principles. Yes, controlling senses and not allowing them to go to the sense objects. Practical things. Controlling senses being free from attachment and aversion. If you are like this, and how that happens? By engaging senses in the service of Krishna. Because senses need some engagement, active engagement. And what is their engagement? Engage in the service of Krishna. We had example of Amrish Maharaj using all the senses in Krishna's service. And if that prasad is obtained, devotee becomes satisfied and becomes happy. And what happens by that happiness and satisfaction, that is coming in the next shloka. Okay, if somebody is connected to Krishna, this is what happens. If someone is not connected to Krishna, what happens? That is also there in the next shloka. Hare Krishna. Any question? Question? Yes, please.
Actually, Vrindavan and Mayapur has so many importance. At Dwarka is the current movie of hospital situation, but at Dwarka is because
Dwarka is the place from where Krishna ruled. That is the place, we can say, more of opulence. Opulence is more prevalent there. But Krishna is God of sweetness. Krishna is Lila Purushottam. Lord Ram is Maryada Purushottam. So Ayodhya is famous. But Lord Krishna is Lila Purushottam. That means he is best in the Leela, doing his pastimes. And all these Leelas of Krishna, of course, whatever Krishna does is called Leela. It's called pastime. And when we do, that's called time pass. That's the difference. So whatever Krishna does is pastime. But when he does something in Vrindavan, it is most sweet. If you hear Krishna, there's a book called Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. 10th canto of Bhagavatam condensed in the stories form. It's same size as Bhagavad Gita, Krishna book. If you don't have, get it, must read book. Must read. Especially if somebody has the problem of the lust, read this book, Krishna book. Guaranteed solution. There are 2.60 to 63 talks about the Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa Sangasteshu Vijayate Sangat Sanjayate Kama Kam Krodho Vijayate. So if one wants to control the mind and senses, read Krishna book. Very powerful. Some of us are reading Krishna book every evening. So Krishna, actually, if you start, then it's difficult to stop. You're triggering us to start. It's so beautiful pastime, the childhood pastimes of Krishna especially. N number of times Krishna did all the pastimes just to attract devotees of Vrindavan and all of us also back to Godhead. Because Antikale ch mam eva smaran muktva kalevaram ya prayati samadbhavam yati nastyatra samshaya. Whatever we remember at the time of death, accordingly we get the next body. If you remember Krishna at the time of death, Antikale ch mam eva smaran muktva kalevaram, while living this body, if you remember Krishna, we go back to Krishna Loka. Yati nasti atra samshaya. So for remembering Krishna, there should be some activity, and Krishna does these activities, pastimes, for giving us this facility to be able to discuss these pastimes, the sweet pastimes. Krishna was once very small child, and then there was a fruit vendor lady. She came with a basket, and she was. If you come to Vrindavan, his Dinabandhu Prabhu, he narrates these pastimes. So much of Krishna consciousness, so much devotion. Prabhuji had come some time back, gave a few classes. So Prabhuji narrates this story, very beautiful in the Shastras. So there was this fruit vendor lady, and she had basket full of all the fruits, and she was selling fruits, saying that banana, apple, chiku. So Nanda Maharaj, who is Nanda Maharaj? Okay, good. We're sitting in India. So lag raha hai. 10 years back, you won't mind, you won't believe, 10 years back when I would ask this question, people did not know the answer. Youths, they did not know the answer. Now there is some wave going on about bhakti in India. So it's good. So Nanda Maharaj wanted to get some fruits for Krishna. So Nanda Maharaj bought some fruits for Krishna, and he paid by giving some grains. Those days it was barter system, no cash, no money. You give me fruits, I'll give you some grains or something else, oil, butter. So Nand Maharaj paid by giving some grains. And then little Krishna, baby Krishna came, and Krishna thought that I will get my fruits, my own fruits. So Krishna also went, and then how much Krishna will pay? With his little small hand, tiny hands that he could not balance also properly, he could not fill the gaps. So he tried taking whatever grains he could, the little hands imbalance, shaky steps he was walking, and from the gaps, all many of the grains fell apart, leaked. And when he reached this fruit vendor lady, had the few grains, countable grains remaining. And then Krishna looked at these grains and looked at the lady. He was morose. I don't have enough to pay you. But then Daddy was so enchanted by Krishna's beauty, because Krishna is his beauty is ever increasing. Kandar Pukoti Kamani Vishesha Shobham. It is. I heard that this is intimate. This is, some of us may not be able to understand. I heard from one very senior devotee recently. He said that Srimati Radharani would say Krishna that, dear Krishna, please do not look into mirror. And Krishna would ask why. Then Radharani would say that if you look into mirror, then you will forget looking at me. Sometimes it is described in Bhagavatam that Krishna would see his own reflection on the pillars in the palaces. There are pillars, and their pillars, Krishna would eat butter and smear his hands on the same pillars. So shiny pillars. Sometimes in the shiny pillars, Krishna would see himself, and looking at his own beauty, Krishna would faint. That beautiful is Krishna. Looking at this baby Krishna, this lady was so enchanted. And then whatever fruits were there in the basket, she gave all the fruits to Krishna, and Krishna could hardly hold whatever. And then this lady told Krishna that, I'll give you all the fruits, but once please fulfill my desire. Please sit in my lap, look into my eyes, and just once say, Maya, address me lovingly as mother. And then Krishna looked here and there, nobody's looking, because she was not the Brahminical or high birth lady, high family lady. So Krishna was thinking, if I sit in her lap, then others will criticize me, my parents. So Krishna looked here and there, nobody was looking. Krishna sat in the lady's lap, and then looking into her eyes, and Krishna said, Maya. Just two syllables, that Maya, was so strongly engraved in the hearts of this lady. She forgot everything else. And she started walking. Just now she was not saying apple, apple, chiku, banana. She was saying Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Always she was just chanting Krishna's name, thinking about Krishna. She went wandering around, and then many Vrindavan Vasi says that nobody knew where she went. One day, her body was found, and she was all the time thinking about Krishna. She went back to Godhead. So, like this, Krishna does all so many numerous pastimes every day and enchants devotees' hearts with sweetness. Don't we feel some touching in the heart when we hear these pastimes? Because this is connected to Krishna. Anything related to Krishna is magnetic. It will attract our heart, melt our heart. And when we hear these pastimes, what is that? Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam. Tava kathamritam, Krishna's pastimes, hearing Krishna's pastime, tapta jivanam. It is life for those who are tormented with the miseries of material world. Tapta jivan, the life is finished. For them, this is Amrit. Brings back life. So we should hear this Krishna's pastimes, read this Krishna book. I heard Nitai Jambu was starting Bhagavatam. Was it started already? Bhagavatam. Zoom reading is about to start. So we'll soon start. More hearing, chanting. Heart will be changed more. And your question was, why not Dwarka? Did we hear any pastime, touching pastime like this in Dwarka? Did you hear any touching pastime like this of Vrindavan? Did you hear any pastime in Dwarka? That, because that is opulence. That is called, I don't know what to say, Aishwarya Dham. Aishwarya Dham. As Krishna is ruler, he has the mukut, he has the crown, he has the ministers. It's more of awe and reverence. And it's not liked by devotees so much. Because devotees want to see Krishna as a small baby or cowherd boy. In Vrindavan, Krishna would play with the cowherd boys, and sometimes when Krishna is defeated, then Krishna will have to, as a punishment, or I don't know what to say, as a payment, Krishna will have to carry many of his friends on the shoulder and walk around. Sometimes when Mother Yashoda calls Krishna back, Krishna, come, it's time for lunch. Krishna will say, Krishna is confused now, whether to play or go back to mother. And if he starts going back to Yashoda Maya, then other friends say, hey, अभी निकल रहा है वापस आना मत खेलने के लिए. Next time we'll not allow you to play with us. And Krishna is perturbed, confused, what should I do? And this is supreme personality of Godhead. So this is sweetness. Krishna is controlled by the love. Ananda Kunde. He is drowning everybody in the pool of ecstasy. So this is Krishna's sweetness. This is found only in Vrindavan. Only in Vrindavan. That's why it said Vrindavanam parityajya padam ekam na gacchati. Krishna does not leave Vrindavan even one step beyond Vrindavan. He always stays in Vrindavan because that's sweet. Devotees have given up their life fully, given their life dedicated to Krishna. Though they are not very scholarly, they love Krishna so much. They don't know that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, but still they love Krishna. Because of that sweetness, Vrindavan is so famous. And yes, Dwarka also, but then that is Aishwarya Dham. So that sweetness is not there. Greatness is there, but sweetness is not there. Does not melt. That's why Rath Yatra is approaching. Krishna and all the gopis, they met in Kurukshetra. And there, Radharani saw Krishna with the kingly attire and having crown. But Radharani says, no, Krishna, we don't want to see this form of yours. We want to be in Vrindavan. Krishna, remove this, your crown, helmet, kingly attire. We don't want to see you in this form. So they want to see Krishna in the sweet form. Makes sense. So of course, when we say about Ashwamedha Yajna, that is just to attract people, but that's not the original intention of coming to Vrindavan or Mayapur. The original intention is to develop love for Krishna, to purify our heart, which is filled with the lust, anger, and greed, to purify that and develop love for Krishna. That is good. And that sweetness arises in the heart, that is success of life. That sweetness comes very easily in Vrindavan, more so easily when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes and gives in Mayapur. That's why we go to Mayapur and Vrindavan. Okay. Okay, we'll end here. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद भगवद गीता की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, हरि नाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे. So every evening Abhishek Prabhu has Bhagavad Gita reading, recitation and reading at 9 p.m. 8:45 p.m. chapter a day. You can attend that because these words are Bhagavad Gita shlokas. They are not just ink and paper. They are very words of Krishna. Krishna personally spoke, very purifying. Just keeping in touch with these words is purifying. Develops love for Krishna, purifies the heart of lust, anger, and greed. And if you do this regularly, you may not believe, but very soon you will memorize many of the shlokas of Bhagavad Gita. So that is, and then next month we are also going to Mayapur. You can all participate for that. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama. Some announcements.
So after this lecture, once we have the prasad at 6 o'clock, those who are interested in going for Harinam, which is going to happen in the Juhu beach, so they can go. Ryan Prabhu, you can just take charge. Take all the boys to Gurukul Village.